You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we review match number 26 of IPL 2021 between the Punjab Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the match summary from game number 26 of IPL 2021 from Ahmedabad between the Punjab Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. The Punjab Kings batted first and made 5 for 179 from their 20 overs. KL Rahul top scored with 91 not out of 57 balls. Kyle Jamieson took 2 wickets for RCB. The Royal Challengers Bangalore finished on 8 for 145 from their 20 overs. Virat Kohli top scored with 35 off 34 balls. Harpreet Bharat took 3 wickets for the Punjab Kings. The Punjab Kings won by 34 runs, and Harpreet Bharat was named man of the match. What were some of the key moments and key factors from this match between the Punjab Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore? I thought one of the key factors in contributing to the Punjab Kings winning this match were the partnerships between Gale and Rahul of 80 for the second wicket, and Rahul and Bharat of 61 not out for the 6th wicket. They got the Punjab Kings to 179 after the Punjab Kings were 5 down for 118 inside 14.4 overs. The other key factor and the contributing factor to the Punjab Kings winning this match was their bowling. They managed to get RCB 7 down for 96 inside 15.5 overs, which led to the Punjab Kings winning this match by 34 runs. Let's have a look at the Punjab Kings team performance in this match. We'll start with their batsmen. Rahul, 91 not out. Prabhadasham Singh, 7. Gale, 46. Puran, 0. Huda, 5. And Shahrukh Khan, 0. I thought their batting today, the Punjab Kings, it started off a bit sketchy, but they managed to get it back towards the back end of the innings. They were in a bit of trouble early, the Punjab Kings. They were 5 down for 118 inside 14.4 overs. But I thought the partnerships of 80 for the second wicket between Rahul and Gale and 61 unbeaten for the 6th wicket between Rahul and Bharat pretty much got them back on track to get to that 179 score, which in the end was a match-winning score on this Ahmedabad surface. And their batting this season has been a bit inconsistent, the Punjab Kings, but I like the way they found a way to bounce back and rescue the innings in this game. It would have been easy for the Punjab Kings just to be bowled out for a low score, but RCB weren't able to capitalise on that moment when they were 5 down for 118. Those two partnerships pretty much got them back into this game and got the bowlers something to bowl at, which was fantastic from the Punjab Kings. And that's the story of their batting, as I said before. It's been a bit inconsistent this season. And we saw in this game, they can bat at their best if they try. And Rahul led from the front as captain, 91 not out, pretty much set the innings for the Punjab Kings. Gale's contribution was quite good, of 46, and Bharat, who came into this game, 25 not out from him was a pretty good effort in his first game of the season. So overall, their batting was good. I liked the way they bounced back, and they found a way to bounce back in this game. It was very easy just to give up and get bowled out for a low score, but they didn't do that. They said, nope, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to find a way to get a score that we can bowl at on this surface, back our bowlers to defend it, and in the end they did. So very good from the Punjab Kings in terms of their batting. The one negative I have about their batting today was the form of Nicholas Puran. He's been struggling, yet again gone for a duck in this game. I think they need to make a change there, the Punjab Kings. I can't see them persisting with Nicholas Puran anymore. Dawad Malan's on the sidelines, number 1 T20 batsman in the world. I think the Punjab Kings should bring him in for Nicholas Puran because he's been struggling. Make the change there. So I think that's probably the way forward for the Punjab Kings. Take Puran out, bring in Malan, see what he can do for the next few games. But overall, the batting was good from the Punjab Kings in this game. They did well to rescue the innings, and in the end, it led to a win. The challenge for them now going forward is to back up this batting performance and work on that consistency with the bat going forward. Let's have a look at their bowlers. 3 wickets for Bharat. 2 wickets for Bishnoi, a wicket each for Meredith, Shami and Jordan. No wickets for Huda. I thought they bowled pretty well today, the Punjab Kings. I thought bringing in Bharat and Bishnoi was a good move from the Punjab Kings leadership to bring them in. I thought they bowled well, especially Bharat. You know, his first game of the season, to come in and take 3 wickets in his first game of the season was unbelievable. He bowled quite well, along with Bishnoi as well. So they just added something different to this bowling attack for the Punjab Kings, which has been lacking from their bowling attack for the whole season. They did well to take wickets at early and regular intervals. They had RCB 7 down for 96 inside 15.5 overs, which pretty much put RCB under pressure in the run chase, which pretty much sealed the game for the Punjab Kings and obviously got them the win in the end. And I thought they bowled well with their lines and lengths. They were pretty consistent. They executed their lines and lengths well with the ball, and they executed their plans well with the ball as well. So overall, it was a pretty good bowling performance from the bowlers. Everyone contributed, everyone did their role, and everyone took wickets and did their role. So that's great signs for the Punjab Kings going forward. Overall, it was a very good win by the Punjab Kings. They should be happy with this performance. The challenge for them now is trying to back up this performance headed into their next game. Let's have a look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore's team performance from this match. We'll start with their batsmen: Kohli 35, Padikkal 7, Padiyar 31, Maxwell 0, De Villiers 3 and Ahmed 8. I thought it was a poor batting performance from RCB in this match today against the Punjab Kings. Didn't really get any fluency and momentum in their innings today. They lost early wickets. They were 7 for 96 inside 15.5 overs. And as we saw against CSK, they had a massive batting collapse against CSK. The same thing happened here against the Punjab Kings. The wickets fell at regular intervals in this match. 1 for 19, 2 for 62, 3 for 62, 4 for 69, 5 for 91, 6 for 96, 7 for 96, and 8 for 144. So that tells you the story of how the innings went. It was sort of a stop-start sort of innings. Didn't really quite find their momentum and fluency in their innings. And the batsmen struggled. And they lost by 34 runs in this match. The batting collapse against CSK was exactly the same. The loss of wickets in that game against CSK were 1 for 44, 2 for 54, 3 for 65, 4 for 79, 5 for 81, 6 for 83, 7 for 89, 8 for 94, and 9 for 103. And they lost that game by 69 runs. So that tells you a bit of a story about RCB and their batting collapses this season, that they are pretty similar. With RCB, in terms of their top order, Kohli, Padikkal, Maxwell and De Villiers, when they're all scoring runs, RCB are doing quite well with the bat. But in those 2 batting collapses, when they haven't scored runs, the rest of the batting order struggles. And in this game, it was no different. They did struggle. Kohli only made 35, Padikkal 7, Maxwell 0 and De Villiers 3. So not really much of an impact from those players. And obviously the rest of the batting order struggled on this Ahmedabad surface. And RCB do have a heavy reliance on those players in Kohli, Padikkal, Maxwell and De Villiers to score all the runs. What I've noticed in these 2 batting collapses is that reliance is so big because they do rely on those players for most of RCB's runs. And to me, their lower order seems to be a bit weak. There's not much fight there with the bat. They seem just to collapse. Obviously, there were some cameo innings in this game with Jamison, who got 16 not out in the lower order. Harshal Patel got 21. There was some late order hitting cameos, but really the top order's job is to get runs. And for RCB in this game and the game against CSK, the top order didn't do their job. And that's why they struggled in this game. The loss of wickets really hurt them in this game. 7 down for 96 early. You're not going to win too many games. And they did quite well to keep the Punjab Kings to a score that they can chase down. It was 179, but the run chase, they lost early wickets. They were 7 down for 96, so that really put them on the back foot. So they are reliant on those players, as I mentioned before, to score majority of the runs. Because to me, it's a real concern for RCB going forward is that their lower order is not getting the job done. If the top order doesn't fire like they have done in this game against the Punjab Kings and in the game against CSK, they are going to struggle and they are going to have big batting collapses. So to me, that's a real concern for RCB at the moment. I thought what was interesting that Virat Kohli said this after the game, and I quote him, and this is what he said after the game. As batsmen, we could have tried different things early on. It was tough to hit through the line. It was all about trying to get a partnership and have a strike rate of more than 110. We were not able to do that as a batting unit. Just a few little tweaks we need to address going forward. These are the areas we need to improve. And I think he's pretty right there, Virat Kohli. What RCB didn't do in this game, and pretty much Kohli summed it up there, they weren't able to build partnerships and back up partnerships. The batsmen didn't try anything to upset the Punjab Kings bowlers in terms of their lines and lengths and make the bowlers from the Punjab Kings do something different with their plans. So there was no proactiveness from the RCB batsmen. I thought they played some reckless shots at times and gave their wicket away during this batting innings. And obviously losing wickets early and not keeping wickets in hand pretty much put them on the back foot. So I thought what Kohli said after the game was pretty spot on. And for RCB, for them, these two games that they've lost against CSK and now the Punjab Kings will make them start to realise, right, we've got some concerns with the batting. And the major concerns are the batting collapses, because they don't want to have this in a final, for example, in a playoff match. You don't want to have a batting collapse in the playoffs. So for them going forward, I think they just need to address those areas. And I think they'll get back on track with the bat. But for me, I think they need to strengthen their lower order. I think they need to get some players who are very good with the bat in the lower order to strengthen the tail as well and the middle order. So I think that's what they need to do going forward in terms of their team selection, is trying to pick players who are very good with the bat in the middle order. Because at the moment, it's sort of a weakness from them at the moment. And obviously, it's not a bad thing that RCB have lost these two games. A lot of people are saying, oh, RCB have started well, and now they've started to lose some games. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, because it will make them realise we've got some areas to improve on with the bat and the ball. And obviously, RCB are still contenders for the playoffs. So they are going to feature in the playoffs, but for them, it's just about trying to learn from this performance against the Punjab Kings and try and fix those areas with the bat. So overall, I thought their batting today was poor. Obviously, they're a class side and they should bounce back with their batting going forward. Let's have a look at their bowlers. 2 wickets for Jamieson, a wicket each for Ahmed, Sams and Chahal. No wickets for Patel and Siraj. I thought they bowled well up front. They did well to get the Punjab Kings 5 down for 118 inside 14.4 overs. But then I thought after that they bowled poorly at the death and leaked runs. The partnerships of 80 for the second wicket between Rahul and Gale and Rahul and Barar, 61 unbeaten for the 6th wicket. Those two partnerships pretty much got the Punjab Kings back on track in this game and obviously got them from 118 to 179. So they didn't quite execute their skills with the ball, didn't quite execute their plans with the ball. I thought their lines and lengths were a bit inconsistent. And those runs in the death that they conceded pretty much cost RCB in terms of what sort of a total that they would have chased on this pitch. I think the total that the Punjab Kings got was a pretty good total given the circumstances where they were in the match. So I think that let RCB down in this game. So overall, their bowling was good up front, but towards the death overs and the back end of the innings, they sort of let it slip. So some areas there of improvement in terms of their execution of their skills and plans with the ball, RCB going forward. So overall, it was a pretty disappointing performance by RCB. They should take the learnings from this game, and hopefully for them, they can bounce back and look to get better for the rest of this IPL season. Let's have a look at the Punjab Kings' potential 11 for their next match against the Delhi Capitals. I think they'll make a couple of changes for their next match, the Punjab Kings. I think Nicholas Pooran will be left out, and I think Dawid Malan to come in for him because Pooran has been struggling of form of late. And the other change that they may do, I think Riley Meredith may be in doubt for the next game because he got a bit of a blow to the knee in this game. He couldn't finish his over in this match. So If he's in doubt for the next game, I think Jai Richardson may come in for him to replace him in the 11. If Meredith's fit, he will take his place in the 11. So their potential 11 could be Rahul, Pravarasham Singh, Gale, Malan, Huda, Khan, Bharat, Meredith or Jai Richardson, Bishnoi, Shami and Jordan. Let's have a look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore's potential 11 for their next match against the Kolkata Knight Riders. I don't think RCB will make massive changes to their team for the next game. I think they'll keep the same 11. I don't think they need to overreact after this loss against the Punjab Kings. For them, it's just trying to keep that consistency and cohesion with the team. So their potential 11 could be Curley, Padikal, Patiar, Maxwell, De Villiers, Ahmed, Sams, Jamison, Patel, Siraj and Chahal. What can we expect from both teams heading into their next match? We'll start with the Punjab Kings. Their next game is against the Delhi Capitals on Sunday at Ahmedabad. For the Punjab Kings, the challenge for them is to build on this great performance against RCB and look to back it up against the Delhi Capitals. We saw in this game, when they play at their best, they are hard to beat. RCB, their next game is against the Kolkata Knight Riders on Monday at Ahmedabad. For RCB, they need to learn from this game against the Punjab Kings and look to improve against the Kolkata Knight Riders. They need to improve their batting and bowling, and I'm sure they will be able to improve those areas and look to bounce back strongly against the Kolkata Knight Riders. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.